This is the Deus Caritas Village in Upper Tominobo, Iligan City. And this is the Deus Caritas Village in Sitio Calubihon in Dalipuga, Iligan City. The residents in these two villages have something in common. They are all new in these places. And why they came to live here. This was the story, why they're here.
Iba pang lugar sa Iligan City na tinamaan ng bagyong Sendong. Nakatutok si Mancia del Castillo.
Sa mga larawang ito, kita ang hirap na pinagdaraanan ng mga taga Iligan City dahil sa bagyong Sendong. Hindi nila lubusang maisip kung paano babangon sa itinuturing na isa sa mga pinakamabagsik na bagyong humagupit sa bansa sa loob ng 12 taon. Ang larawang ito ng masayang kasalan, isa sa mga natitirang alaala ng pamumuhay sa Barangay Santa Filomena na isa sa mga pinakasinalantang bahagi ng lungsod. Halos wala ng bahay na makikita sa lugar. Pinangangambahang marami pang bangkay ang mahahanap dahil marami pa raw ang nawawala. Sa maraming lugar sa Iligan City, hindi nalalayo ang eksena. Kita sa mga larawan ni Sandy Fetalvero Alejo na lubog sa putik at tubig ang malaking bahagi ng Iligan. Wasak din ang ilang tulay. Kahit saan ka lumingon, maputik ang daan. Kaliwat kanan din ang mga bahay na giniba ng bagyo. Sa kuha ni Youth Cooper Mark James Abitago, makikita ang isang bahay na tinangay ng rumagasang baha. Ang kotseng itong nakuna ng grupong Couples for Christ tila nakasabit na sa puno matapos tangayin ng baha. Ang malaking jeep na ito tumaob. Patuloy pa rin ang search and retrieval operations para sa mga nawawala at relief operations para sa mga nasa evacuation center. Mancia del Castillo, nakatuto, 24 oras.
Mga kapuso, kung nakakuha po kayo ng mga litrato.
Iligan City is used to be typhoon-free, so nobody thought that disaster will happen until Tropical Storm Sendong devastated most parts of the city.
Among balay na wash out gyud na anod uban sa akong mga gamit.
The destruction caused by the flood, aggravated by thousands of logs carried downstream by the rampaging floodwaters, caused tremendous devastation of properties and deaths to more than 1,000 people, including women and children.
Nakita na namo ang balay nga uban nga nangaanod na ay bata nga naanod nga 2 years old.
The flood literally erased most houses and communities located along the riverbanks. Many families were rendered homeless and temporarily took shelter in the evacuation centers or in their relatives.
Nga wala na gyud mi amo ang mga gamit wala na koy balay. Wala na gyud koy balay atong higayon na gyud nakaingon kog asa namin padulong. Gisagop mi sa akong mama to ami dito
na hulog gid mo balay. Kung gyud tanan gyud na kuan wa ginami na gamit na kuan kuha.
Dito nagpuyo dayon naabtan ang higayon nga nagkuan dire nga naa punoy balay nga ipanghatag. Itagaan mi og balay pero pinaagi sa kanang patulo og singot kay magkuan man daw mi pahina og 200 hours pero amo lang gihapon napaningkamutan nga nakuha namo niabot mi karon dire.
The story of Jenibel, Amy, and their families, and all the families who came to live in the Deus Caritas Villages are the same. They were relocated here after their houses, their personal belongings, their livelihood lost during the storm. The Deus Caritas Villages located in Upper Tominobo and Dalipuga are among the few permanent relocation sites that sheltered some families who are victims of Typhoon Sendong.
So, ang Deus Caritas Dalipuga, isa ka Diocese relocation area. Gidonate siya sa Peraren, Domlaw, families. Ang purpose is para adunay ma-uwian ang mga Sendong survivors.
The Catholic Diocese of Iligan established these villages with the support from various international church organizations. In Deus Caritas Villages, each family was provided with a single detached housing unit which measures 3 by 5 meters that is made of concrete and light wooden materials. The land, including the dwelling lots, are owned and still within the jurisdiction of the Catholic Diocese of Iligan. However, beneficiaries are given the privilege to stay and exercise their rights over the land and housing units based on usufruct agreement. Therefore, they can stay in the property for as long as they want, provided that they will not sell, subject said property for rent, and or abandon said property. Although the relocated Sendong survivors were given shelters for their families, their situations are not easy. Because of the losses they suffered from the flood, they don't have the choice but to live in these places far away from the potential source of their livelihood.
Buwan man niya ba, abot-abot lang. Adlaw,
The poverty situation in these two resettlement sites of barangays Upper Tominobo and Dalipuga, which according to DSWD is 95.7%, the highest in year 2012. This was further aggravated by problems on lack of supply of potable water and, more seriously, the problem related to disposal of human excreta or human waste. The problem is most eminent since relatively small and unsafe plastic septic tanks with limited capacity are installed and shared by household families.
Septic tank kay importante kay labayanan sa amo ang hugaw sa pareha namo nga big family. Kung gamay ra siya, dali ra kay mapuno. So ga problema may kay mga pila ka months, mga abot mig 6 months na nimaho na among septic tank.
Safety tank yun mo ang problema pud ba yan kay gamay ba ang tangke gihatag. Ya pila ra ka kuan na mapuno na kay wa agud bangagi, kay di man pabangagan. Di pagkapuno di as unsaon naman namo. Kami tanan diri nag problema ba kung unsaon namo kung mapuno ba mga kwarto.
Buol yung kayo kay nagawag kami yung labay bako.
Nangalis mo.
Ngayon mo.
To mitigate the problem of overflowing waste, most residents resorted to breaking the plastic containers to allow septic wastewater to be drained into makeshift open canals. The result is even more risky because children used to play in open canals, especially when it rains. This problem, if not properly responded, would eventually lead to spread of diseases and possible outbreak of diarrhea, cholera, dysentery, amoeba, hepatitis, and other serious diseases, especially among children in the community.
Kung sa among buhaton sa among septic tank, so nangayo mi og help sa office. So gitubag man mi nga amuan na ng problema kay na turnover na sa amua. So mo nga problema kaayo mi.
It is for these reasons that a development partnership was forged by the Iligan Medical Center College, the Catholic Diocese of Iligan, and the Latin America, Asian, and African Social Housing Service, SELAVIP, to implement the Project 6114.
Project 6114 is actually a partnership between Iligan Medical Center College and of course with the Diocese of Iligan and with SELAVIP.